Hello, dear listeners, and welcome back to Book Summary 5, the 5-minute summary channel. I'm Sammy, your host. Today, we're diving into The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks by Rebecca Skloot, published in 2010. This remarkable book tells the story of Henrietta Lacks, a poor African-American woman whose cells, taken without her knowledge, became one of the most important tools in medicine. The book explores the ethical issues surrounding her story, the impact on her family, and the legacy of her cells, known as HeLa cells, which continue to revolutionize science. Let's dive into the key narratives so you'll feel like you've read it cover to cover. The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks begins by introducing us to Henrietta Lacks, who was born in 1920 in Roanoke, Virginia, and later moved to Baltimore, Maryland. In 1951, at the age of 31, Henrietta was diagnosed with cervical cancer at Johns Hopkins Hospital. During her treatment, without her consent, doctors took a sample of her cancerous cells. Unlike normal cells, which die after a few divisions, Henrietta's cells were found to be extraordinary. They could multiply indefinitely in the lab. These cells, named HeLa cells after Henrietta Lacks, became the first immortal human cell line ever grown in culture. Henrietta herself never knew that her cells had been taken, and she passed away later that year, unaware of the immense impact her cells would have. HeLa cells were soon distributed to scientists around the world, enabling countless medical breakthroughs. They played a crucial role in developing the polio vaccine, advancements in cancer research, gene mapping, in vitro fertilization, and even helped in understanding the effects of zero gravity on human cells. However, while HeLa cells were making significant contributions to science, Henrietta's family was left in the dark, unaware that her cells were still alive and being used for research decades after her death. Rebecca Skloot, the author, first learned about HeLa cells in a college biology class. Fascinated by the story of these cells, she embarked on a decade-long journey to uncover the full story of Henrietta Lacks and her family. The book not only tells the scientific history of HeLa cells, but also delves deeply into the personal lives of the Lacks family, particularly Henrietta's daughter, Deborah. Deborah Lacks, who was a child when her mother died, grew up without knowing the full story of her mother's cells. When she eventually learned about HeLa, she became determined to understand what had happened and what it meant for her and her family. The book explores the deep ethical questions raised by Henrietta's story. One of the central issues is the question of consent. At the time Henrietta's cells were taken, there were no laws requiring doctors to inform patients or obtain consent before using their tissues for research. The lack of consent and the fact that Henrietta's family never received any compensation or recognition for her contribution to science highlights the broader issues of exploitation and racial inequality in the medical field. As Skloot weaves together the scientific history of HeLa cells with the personal story of the Lacks family, she sheds light on the complexities of medical ethics, scientific progress, and the human impact of these issues. The book raises important questions about the ownership of human tissues, the rights of patients, and the responsibilities of scientists and medical institutions. It also tells a powerful story of a family's struggle to come to terms with their mother's legacy and to seek justice and recognition for her contribution to science. One of the most poignant aspects of the book is the way it captures Deborah Lacks' emotional journey. Throughout her life, Deborah was haunted by the mystery of what had happened to her mother and the impact it had on her family. She struggled with feelings of anger, confusion, and betrayal, but also with a deep desire to understand and honor her mother's memory. Through her conversations with Skloot, Deborah sought to piece together the story of her mother's life and legacy, and to come to terms with the complicated legacy of HeLa cells. The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks is not just a story about science. It's also a story about the human consequences of scientific discovery, the importance of ethics in research, and the ways in which marginalized communities have been exploited by the medical system. It's a story about a woman whose cells changed the world, but who was largely forgotten in the annals of history until Skloot brought her story to light. In summary, The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks by Rebecca Skloot is a deeply moving and thought-provoking book that combines science, biography, and ethics. It tells the story of Henrietta Lacks, a woman whose cells became immortal and revolutionized medicine, while also exploring the impact of her legacy on her family and the broader ethical issues it raises. This book is essential reading for anyone interested in the intersection of science, ethics, and human rights. Thank you for tuning in to Book Summary 5, the 5-minute summary channel. If you enjoyed this summary, Please subscribe, like, and share it with your friends. Until next time, happy reading.